flips the conversation. He goes, I've noticed a little thing between you and Brett.
What?
Nothing.
No matter what happens, I want you all to stay together, and I want you to do what you need to do to get out of here. Don't worry about me. Help as you can if you can. But mostly worry about yourselves, okay?
I'm not leaving you alone. You can do this.
If anything happens, I want to know that you will be okay.
I'll be safe.
Actually, he flips the conversation. He goes, I've noticed a little thing between you and Brett.
What?
Nothing.
No matter what happens, I want you all to stay together, and I want you to do what you need to do to get out of here. Don't worry about me. Help as you can if you can. But mostly worry about yourselves, okay?
I'm not leaving you alone. You can do this.
If anything happens, I want to know that you will be okay.
I'll be safe.
All right. We all ready to kick this shindig off?
Time to dance with Fire Realm? What realm is this called again?
The plane of fire.
Everything is on fire.
Fire. Alright. So, you guys had gotten an express trip to District 8 through Kazariak. There in the deserted town, only being patrolled by guards, you all found your way upon this plane rider ship of green and gold, meeting Ganymede Gregorios as the co-captain of said ship with Kazariak, and you guys had left on the water before the sun had fully risen. Once out far enough away that the skyline, or the cityscape was on the horizon skyline, you guys were each given a different job. Then the travel really began. Traveling southward, passing the border between Ixia and Cydia, and then traveling through not only the plane of Earth, but also the Shadow Plane, the Abyssal Plane, in which you had an interesting encounter with a giant, gargantuan creature out of the black fabric waters of the Abyssal Plane, but you were able to, with some good shots by Rashi, stagger it enough for you all to make a quick getaway. Eventually, moving back into another portal and getting back to the Prime Material Plane, you guys found yourselves out far off the coast from where you had last seen Qatar and where his house is at. Passing by the ship impaled by the rock, you guys made a more northern approach and eventually landed upon the shore, or off the shore, using water-walking horses to get yourself onto shore and into Kember. There, you saw that the clusterfuck that is Kember was exacerbated, as now there is a Duragar wedding as well. So, you guys went down to the 6th disc, which was the reception disc, where plenty of food, drink, and tents for partying were set up, and you guys begin in the merriment. During the first reception, you guys were found, or at least Rashi was found, by Polishamazel, a seemingly colored skin across this gray sea of Duragar, a dwarf from Ixia, who helped Rashi find her mother, and the oh my god, I forgot what the term of it was, but the main seat where they were sitting at. Getting you guys a table close to them, as you all didn't really know too many people. Sat through the actual wedding itself and the other receptions, with Amric getting the furthest into the victory reception before falling to Hawkus. But, to be fair, Hawkus won the entire thing, so it's always good to lose to the winner if you're going to lose to anybody. That night, Rashi had told you all that she needs to depart from the group for a while, as she can go with her new family and actually enjoy for a bit. This isn't goodbye, just a see you later. But this opened the door for Polly to join the group, as Polly had been feeling the itch of needing to live life on the road once again, since his life had become a little stagnant recently. So, as you guys were leaving the last reception and heading to the Fluffy Pegasus, you offered the ability for him to join your group, and he accepted, saying that he needed to make one small check-in before you all left the next morning. As the next morning arose, Polly's faithful steed Bill, the pony, was outside, dressed and ready to go. And as you all had breakfast and went out with, you guys took to a northern route, heading back to the original port that you guys had left to go to the Bloodgood lands originally. Feels like way back in the day. Sorry, hearing some weird noises outside. Ah, okay, now I know why. Heading back towards that port, eventually getting there, seeing the ship off into the water, and a few of the crew were on the dock itself. Once seeing that you guys were arriving, snapped to attention, greeted you all, and had to make a couple trips with their boats as they were not expecting a pony. But eventually got everyone onto the ship itself, with Kazariak manhandling Bill a little bit, but safely getting Bill on board. As you guys then left, heading for the westernmost isle of the cliffs, as that is the information you had gathered. 7 miles off the westernmost island, I believe. You guys got in a spit of bother. And while a few of you were on watch throughout the nights, Amric being the boatswain's mate, steering the ship through the night shift, and the other two falling asleep, you guys were boarded by a few sea hags, led by a sea fury herself. With a few of the crew getting felled almost immediately on top that were also asleep on top for their shift, a fight broke out, and those that were under started to come to the surface to help, while some more of the pertinent crew, Kazariak and Ganymede, were stuck dealing with very heavy engine trouble, as the Sea Fury had ripped off their plane shifting lever and thrown it into the ocean. Things got a bit heated as you all were fighting, dispatching the Sea Hag one after one, and then turning everyone's focus onto the Sea Fury herself. She was keeping you all at bay as best she could, and was starting to flee when the ship lurched and then went silent and sped you all through the plains, landing you, sailing the sandy seas of the Fire Plain. Nothing but heat, orange and red sky, and, well, death, pretty much all around, with no sign of the Sea Fury in sight. You guys have found yourselves in a not very happy place. But that's where we resume. Fireplane. Out of combat initiative. Go.
Holy shit, y'all, it's hot.
Amric is going to slump down wherever he's at, because he's kind of fucked up.
Warren's kind of looked over the side of the ship and he's pouting that stupid thing got away from him.
Rachad will immediately bolt below deck to see what he could do to help staunch whatever problems are.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say as well. Because
Okay.
I'm gonna pump some healing into Amric. Not a lot. 13.
Gets
And
me
then-
double digits.
Catch Kaporin on his way for 10.
Thank you, Polly.
Uh-huh.
Thank you, Polly.
And then walk over to Bran and be like, I'm really sorry about your sword.
It's not the issue right now. I think we need to figure out how to get out of here. Kaporin, I know you were navigating any ideas.
Let me take a look at the maps. I'm not
Make a
too
perception
familiar with
check
this
to
plane.
Bard. Everyone who is wearing any sort of more heavy metal or medium metal, I will say you guys are in a lot of pain at the moment. Before you turn around and you look into the navigation quarters, and all you see is fire. Not from the wood itself, but from all the paperwork that's burning.
Corin starts panicking. Is Nori went downstairs already, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, call for me, please.
Corin starts yelling and screaming. It's like calling for Nori to come out. It's like, Nori, there's a fire up here. Help!
Do I hear this?
Make a perception check. Because as you guys are starting to run down, it is loud down here as people are running around, just fucking going crazy, trying to shore up holes, trying to inlay the entire bottom decks from its basically cooking from the inside. They're actually creating boreholes near the top, underneath the bottom of the top deck, as to let heat escape from inside, or else it is going to basically turn into an oven. You do hear something coming from up top. Sounds more like just chaos.
And Nori will poke her head back up.
Corin has ran towards the room to see if he could salvage any documents before the whole thing goes up in flames.
They're pretty much all on flames. Because it's not like it wasn't just a fire, it was just the overall heat from this. Dried it all out, started to crumple it, so even before it caught, you know how when you start to burn paper, it curls? Pretty much everything looks like that.
So even if I cast create water, it wouldn't save anything?
You might stop a little bit of the fire spreading to something else, but as far as...
I will do that.
Okay. Casting that to put out the fire is enough. You actually need to use like the entirety of it, because half of it just immediately steams as soon as you finish creating it, before it even gets all the way down with the excess heat from the fire and just the plane itself. Just immediately just cloud fog obscures Kaporin as he's in there looking at the paperwork.
Yeah, and I'll do it at a second level, so I've got 20 gallons.
Okay, easy enough to do.
I will run down into the hold and pull my pony out of the boiling water.
Going down there, the water is all gone already.
Oh, okay, good. So he's fine.
Yeah, that was one of Kazariak and Ganymede's are down there currently on the engine level. And so as soon as they realized that they had jumped to the fire plane, they dumped all their water, else you guys would just start sinking into the sand. So yeah, Bill's uncomfortable, but he's not boiling.
Yeah, Nori will run down and go, do you guys need water? What do you need?
I'm trying to think what they would need. A working ship?
I can't do that. Lever is broken.
Explains it. So the ballast tanks and the engine sit on the same level, divided by 3 different compartments and walls, which at a certain angle you can see from the ballast area back into the engine. And the engine basically looks like three engines in a triangle formation. And usually only one's going, and when all 3 kick in is when you guys plane shift. All 3 are on, and they're having a hard time turning them off. That's what they've been dealing with, trying to stop the jumping. And they've been successful at it. They rolled like fucking 19, 19, 20, 19.
So are we about to jump again, is what you're saying?
Once the dice doesn't say something bad.
So, I guess Kaporin's gonna run over to Because run over to the wheel and see what damage was done over to there.
Make a investigation check.
Oh, I'm poisoned. That's why.
Either way, it's only one difference. The middle lever has been completely ripped out. There's sparks and just jagged metal down at the base where the lever was connected. The steering wheel itself is pushed down and in. You've seen the two captains shift it to different planes that they wanted to go to, but this one's like pushed down and in here. Other than that, the wheel's fine.
There's no possible way of trying to like I don't understand it, even with mending, fix the
I think mending's for
lever
organic
area.
items.
Is it only organic items?
No, mending can do anything.
But it has to
Yeah.
it has to only be like an inch of a
Alright.
hole or something.
It's like a foot distance total, but of like a crack through something you can mend. But it's a cantrip. You can't really do much with it, and it doesn't come back magical if it was
it's
magical.
a single break or tear.
Okay.
Throughout the course of learning to like how to steer the ship, would Emmerich have learned the parts needed for plane shifting, like how to push in and out the wheel?
Make
To
an
go to-
intelligence check.
Ooh, that's not good.
Which Ha would just
17.
sort of look at Kazariak and go, "Stop it, how?" But go ahead.
I don't know. I'm not an engineer. You would know that the different like the different locations that you could push the wheel into, mean different things as far as the planar shifting goes, but it's usually coordinated with whatever portal that you're entering at the currently time. So just like picking up and putting it in isn't really going to do anything. You've got to make it line up with the correct plane that you're trying to shift to through the right portal, or like the veil where it's thinnest between planes to make that happen.
Okay. Well, I don't think it's gonna do anything, but just to make Emmerich feel better, he's gonna go to the wheel and he's going to he's gonna change positioning, probably more upward. However that would look.
What's your strength modifier?
My strength +5.
Okay, go ahead and roll d20. Remember, that Sea Fury rolled a nat 20.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think it budges.
No, that wheel's locked in.
In the meantime, so I don't like burn alive, Emmerich is gonna start taking off his armor.
Good man.
Yeah, Bryn would too. Since Emmerich is at the wheel, she's gonna try to stay close to the mast, so in case she needs to do shit with that.
All right, sounds good. Rachak, go ahead and give me an intelligence check as well. Nori, go ahead and give me an insight check. Obviously, Rachad being Rachad, as soon as they said that they don't really know what to do, you would have been all up in that bitch. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna. If he said, "I'm not an engineer," I'd respond with, "Who the fuck is these days?"
we need the other ballast mate.
He's gone. Isn't that was the other person who died, wasn't it?
Technically,
that killed him?
That was the only person that died.
Okay. Nori will just be like, he's gone.
Well, fuck.
Yep, pretty much.
Well, the ballast mate, and then or I'll go ballast mate and point at Nori.
true, and I don't know anything about tech. I was told what to do here, and I can do that. That's about it.
All right, then I go running in and I pull out my tool and my probably very scorched coconut hat.
At least it's cooking the fungus away. So now the whole
Come on, Nori,
bottom of the
you can
ship.
do this. We believe in you.
What tool do you turn it into?
Would I know like a mechanic's tool set? Or like I guess I have my carpenter's tools, but they're not magical, so they're probably just gonna incinerate, so probably carpenter's tools.
Okay. So, a set of carpenter's tools gets fabricated, and you're just looking at all this because it's mainly metal and a lot of arcane sigilling in between. I almost feel like Rachel would just like get the carpenter's hammer, just look at it and go, bat.
Racha is definitely the person who
I-
just makes it till it works.
He wouldn't do that exactly. He would definitely be like looking over it, trying to understand how it's functioning before trying to touch anything.
Well, the main thing that's going on it right now is the top engine is more of the straight mechanical propulsion. That one is on, and the back end of it is rotating in a circular counterclockwise fashion. And then the rest of the engine has like this blue energy kind of running through it, cycling constantly. The other two that are on the bottom, one of them is green and one of them is purple, and they're doing the same cycling but faster, but sporadically. So they're not in a constant fluid pulsing. They're just kind of like fast, slow, slow, fast, fast. Like it just constantly in different rhythms.
And so I guess I'd look back at Kazariak and go, normal? Like I'm basically trying to understand, is it supposed to be in sync and it's not in sync, and that's what the problem is we're having?
Yeah, when you say normal to him, he kind of like pulls at his armor as sweat's just like dripping down his face, and he goes, "What do you think?"
I think he means, are they supposed to be in sync?
It depends on which plane we're going to.
Which plane we're going to?
Not this fucking one.
All right, I'm gonna try and line them up in the best way I can. Is it like a fan belt that is spinning, or is it like a...
No, so the way it looks, think of more of like a rocket engine, and where the I forgot the actual word for it. So the back end, which would be the bottom of a rocket engine, where it like funnels up and it actually goes into the rocket booster itself. That portion has sigils that are carved into the metal work, and as they are moving, like as they're lighting up, that's also giving the pulse of light throughout the entire engine. So you at least figure out those two things are in sync. Go ahead and give me another intelligence check.
Val, can I cast Enhance Ability on Racha to give him advantage on intelligence checks?
Sure.
I do that.
While he's intelligencing, can I go up on deck and see if we're still moving and where we're going?
Oh yeah, you guys are flying.
Yeah.
With these triple engines working right now, you guys are cutting through the sand like it's air.
Right, but is there like a bunch of stuff in front of us that we might hit?
Make a perception check.
On that point, after the minute I think it takes to take runner off, Emmerich will go back to steering the ship to make sure we don't crash.
Yep, you got some singed nipples.
Nori's gonna shove her shield into the bag so it doesn't catch on fire.
All those that are wearing heavy and medium armors, I need con saves.
If I took mine off already, does that
You're good.
correct me from it?
Oh, so then I'm good. Okay, too then?
You took your armor off?
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah.
20.
You're good.
I said it right after he did.
20 on both.
Alright,
I rolled it and then I asked that, sorry.
no worries.
It was very laggy.
You take 3 points of fire damage, Polly.
Okay.
Looking out ahead of you, Polly, you don't. It's just constant dunes. It looks like nothing really spiraling out of the sand anywhere in front of you guys. But you also, it's not like the ocean where it's like flat and you can see. It's like constant large dunes that are blocking too far off vision, but you can see decently around a couple thousand feet in all directions.
Besides us, is there anything else moving besides, swirls of hot wind or anything like that?
Beyond what you can see or around you, no, not really. Richard, you see that, so you get that the sigilling, as it lights up, matches with the light show that's happening throughout the engine, but you're not sure what exactly is setting off the sigilling. It's probably something deeper, and you're not going to be able to just look at it and figure it out. You're probably going to have to go in to try and figure it out. You do get the idea, though, that technically a strong enough dispel magic might work.
This is the smartest idea Racha has ever done. It's like he's just like, fuck me.
Have to spell magic stocked.
Is it capable of being climbed into, or like is it big enough for me to go into it, or is it
So
like?
it is big enough. They're decently large, and the metalwork here has a lot of gaps inside that you can sneak your way into and through, but it is all metal. It's hot. There's no way to get in there without taking damage.
You got Nori there with heals. If you want to go in, I don't have a way to buff you, but
Because they're lucky, if I put on my 2 left shoes, will they give me at least a little bit of heat resistance for like a second or two? He will. Oh, what would he do with them? He'd probably be like, "This is all the leather I've got." Try and pad up his feet as much as possible. Almost like not even put them on, but like try and make sandals out of them with the shoestrings, essentially.
Okay.
And then
you start to like pull the shoestrings out, and they just start to curl.
and then he's gonna go. This is stupid, and just go running in, trying to time it. Like this whole thing, he's trying to time it so that it's not spinning up, like trying to go in between the pulses of whatever's going on, just so there's less likely of a chance of him exploding in an arcane explosion.
I don't know what it is, but way late at night, my allergies kick in for some fucking reason. All right. So go ahead and give me a perception check. Okay, you're able to watch and kind of time it. And though it is sporadic, so it's not like a 1, 2, 3. It's more of like you wait. You realize there's at least 1 second in between each spooling. So once it completes its rotation on the sigils, there's always at least 1 second before it kicks on again. So I need you to make an acrobatics check.
I think for an attempt to like knock the what's left of the lever back into the off position.
There is nothing left of the lever. She ripped
I
that
got,
thing out from the base.
Never mind then.
So, Racha, looks deep within himself. And it's almost as if a voice returns the call. It is a deep, bassy voice that says, I'm not going to try and be that deep, because right now my nose is clogged up like a motherfucker. But let me get the actual quote here. All right. You hear this voice come out to you and goes, "This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes." And then you just fucking jump, dive, spin, spiral your way through as the sigils are just going off, and as you enter the darkness of inner workings of it, you hear the as it starts to spin back up, and you tuck your legs in at the last second as you get a nice little shaving of some of your feathers on your legs as the sigilling starts back up again. One second, I need napkins.
Remember, you have advantage on all intelligence checks for the next hour, so hopefully it helps.
Sorry, I don't think no bardic inspiration in any of this would be helpful right now.
It is always
I don't
helpful. I don't know what you're talking about.
Bardic
know
would
if you
be
can hear
very
us over all
helpful.
this.
Man, it would have been real helpful for that first wisdom save. Things would have gone very differently.
We couldn't get to you in time. Sorry. My sword didn't go off.
This is why y'all don't sleep on the job.
Hey, it was my action. It was my time off. This is my fault. I did
It
roll
was a
6.
long trip. I needed some rest.
Valid.
Allergy bill consumed. All right.
Level up.
So you find yourself within the inner workings of this engine itself. Looking around, you're currently in what looks to be some sort of coolant. It goes up about 3 inches over your toes. Luckily, it seems to be semi-magical in nature. It's not reacting to the heat from outside, so it's not boiling as soon as you step in here. But this chamber that you're in currently is only about 2 feet tall by 2 feet, circular. So you are hunched and just kind of like reaching an elbow out and just touching the side of it. It is fucking hot. Make an Arcana check for me.
He has advantage on this.
You get the sense of this would be a bad place to be if you guys plane shifted again.
Makes sense. Is there any sort of mechanical things going on that seem like I could maybe shut it off, or no?
Make a perception check. Actually, perception or investigation. Looking around in this working area right here, you see 4 what looks to be tubes that go out of this coolant area. Looks like 2 are an intake two are a release. You've got two other openings up on the top of this cylinder. Both, you're not sure where they go, but every time the sigils charge and rotate once, if the front is the opposite way from the exhaust area, it's towards the back, so it's towards the exhaust. There's an opening that starts to glow, and every time the cycles charge and charge, it glows brighter and brighter.
So like that's where the energy is flowing to, is into that.
Looks like it's
into
pooling
those
there.
tubes.
And this is the opening that's at the top. So you got all the pipes that run out the bottom. This seems to be, so as the sigils lined up and then that light show happens throughout the whole thing, all the lights seem to get sucked up into this reservoir that's above you in this cylinder. And as it revs more and more and more, that light is getting brighter and brighter.
So, and it's like I can't even look at it bright, or can I like try and?
Yeah, it's more. I mean, it's bright, but it's not like blinding bright.
I guess I'd see if like I can get anything out of that, or if there's anything inside there, like if I could see something. But if it's a bright light, it's hard to see, I guess.
Yeah, you can't see through it. You just see that there's a lot of energy coming from it, and the hole itself is about 1.5 feet wide. But you can't see depth to it because of how bright it is.
How long has this been this whole time, I guess?
Since you've gotten down here? Well, since you've been on the fire plane altogether, I've been doing things, though we've been talking through it slow, I've been saying things have been going pretty fast. So you guys have only been in the fire plane for probably 5 minutes.
Wonderful. That means I still have my key wings. Can I try and reach into the glowing orb of light with my key arm and see if I can gain purchase on anything in there?
Okay. Do you have any feeling with your arms, or is it just...
I mean, let me read, I guess.
Or are you just trying to put your hands in there to see if it catches on something?
Yeah, more. It says if I need to make any strength checks, I can make it with a wisdom check, basically meaning those are my arms utilized for it.
Yeah, no, I just wondering if you have sensory reception to it or not.
But it doesn't say anything about that sort of thing. It's just my key, essentially.
Okay, so I'd say... I would say if you get into, like, 5th level of the monk, Astro Monk, then you would. Because that means you've been working with it long enough to be able to focus your key to feel things.
Sounds good. I will then just see if I can get purchase on anything with them. Okay. And they do have a 10-foot reach, so I would imagine I can reach all the way through. But I don't know.
Snake them in there. Go ahead and give me a strength check. Or a wisdom check. You punch the hand through and it gets stuck about 9 or 10 inches through the hole itself. And because you don't have sensory, you're not sure if it's a push or a pull situation. But you have hold of whatever's inside. What would you like to do?
What sort of sense do I get that this engine can explode and destroy the whole ship?
Enough of a sense that during that entire battle, neither Kazariak nor Ganymede had come up to help. Oh, by the way, I need to know: did you choose blue or green to jump into? Oh, sorry, green or purple to jump into?
I guess whichever one was least sporadic, or like the one that had the most gap, it would have been the one that I.
Dice roll it is. All right, purple.
Oh man.
It's just for my own knowledge. Don't worry.
No, I know. It's more like I'm imagining it's a clog, is what it is, and the worst case scenario is the clog explodes in my face, but and detonates the whole ship and kills us all.
Unfortunately, not the worst case scenario, but close.
I never realized my life would come down to a 50-50 of push or pull.
I'm sure there's
Does
many
it-
people out in the world that have realized the same thing that Rashad's realizing right now.
Is it seem like a tube that this is going through, and like is the clog sort of like the general sense of what I'm getting from this thing, or is it like is it more like a crystal, or is it like this is the orb inside the thing, or is it like this is the flow of energies tube? Basically, I'm saying, like, is this thing the thing that's taking the stuff, or is
Yeah, I know what you
this
mean.
thing just blocking the stuff?
Honestly, without spending too much time with it and getting any extra information, what you know is what you know.
He'd, knowing that it's not that far, he'd reach in with his own arm. Then,
Okay. Purple one. 10 inches in. $38 points of force damage. As you start to put your hand actually in there, every 3 inches, you feel just this crushing force on all portions of your hand and arm. It rips off all the feathers on that arm, so choose whatever arm you want to be featherless.
I guess it'd be his dominant hand, just to get the best feeling. So he right hand.
Okay. So it goes up about halfway up your forearm before you finally grab whatever your astral arm had grabbed. And as this engine is undulating, you're feeling the power go into whatever this. It almost feels like an egg as it's getting brighter and brighter. You feel like this is absorbing the power that this engine is creating. There is room past it, but the egg is currently sideways. So it's stuck where it's at. Unfortunately, where it's stuck and how big it's the same size on either end of this crystal, you're still unsure whether or not it's a push or a pull. But at least all of the energy seems to be flowing through the entire engine and going to this crystal.
I'd probably try and like push it back into place then, assuming it got knocked out of where it's supposed to be.
Okay, so I'll push. Go ahead and give me a strength check unless you want to use your arms again to wisdom check it.
And I use all 4 of my arm or all 3 of my arms so I don't damage my other arm too. and get advantage.
I'll lower the DC. All right. So, I wasn't expecting this to happen. I have the contingency in case it did. Rachaw, specifically. As you, because you're the only one that would jump in here. As you push the crystal forward, you're pushing with your hand, then you have your astral arms pushing down. All of a sudden, you feel your astral arms give, as if they continue moving forward, but you're still holding the crystal there and it's not budging. And your astral arms get consumed by the crystal, making it brighter. Your astral arms are gone.
Like forever?
Who knows?
From Nori, who is standing outside the engine, is anything happening out here?
Nope, same stuff.
Rachar, are you okay?
Kazariak's currently under the green engine, and you just hear fuck, shit, oh, fuck, as he's trying to like weave his giant Triton Goliath arms through the metallic work to try and like basically do the same thing Rachaw's doing, try and figure out tactilely what's going on inside to see if he can fix it.
If I can even hear Nori, I'd go, I hurt people that way, and then
Can I even see him?
No. No, he's completely inside.
Can't even heal him. Fuck.
I mean, the gap that he matrixed his way through, which is why I used the Matrix quote, was only like a 2-foot wide gap. And it only happens when the sigil finishes its rotation. It's only open for like a split second.
Nori's not going in there at all, and she's standing back a little ways, but she's going to look through and see if she can time it to the point where she can see it, and then she's going to throw healing word his way. Is that okay?
He's not in that same... So the angle he had to jump into to get to the middle would basically be from the exhaust going towards the engine at a 45-degree angle, and then when he went to go to the opening that had the crystal in it, he had to go back towards the exhaust, so he's out of sight line.
I did my best.
does it seem like it's just absorbing energy because of how I moved it, or is it absorbing energy because I pushed too hard?
You're not sure. If you had another energy thing to try and use, you might be able to see if like you can replicate it. But with that being like your like really your, because I mean you touched it before with your bamf wings, and it didn't absorb at that time. So unfortunately, without trying to replicate the exact same thing, you're not sure if it would happen again.
Yeah, I guess I'd try to bonus action to try and bring them back out if I can or not.
Okay. So they come back out once more and immediately into the crystal. And the crystal grows brighter. It's got a taste of you.
And it hasn't budged at all yet.
Not yet. Not with a 4.
Yeah, so I guess I'll push it again,
Okay.
but with the, I guess, in the same, or can I have like my cloak prepared?
Mhm.
And if things are about to detonate, I want to try and bamf this thing 500 feet away from the ship. Essentially, is the idea.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that.
But I will be pushing towards it, or
So,
pushing into
so
it.
pushing out. Okay, go ahead and roll a strength check. DC goes back to its original because you don't have your extra arms this time.
It was a lot better than a 4, though, at least.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Makes you wonder why you even use those arms. Okay. So with the last desperation, holding your cloak tight, you push and you hear the as the crystal grinds the inside like the worst nails on a chalkboard, and just to the point, Nora, you hear this, and Kazaria kind of like dips his head out slowly, like, what the fuck was that?
Racha?
Then you hear a ting ting as you jettison
Roy backs up.
the crystal gets jettisoned out of the exhaust of this engine and just gets launched into the fire plane sands, immediately going below the surface. And this entire engine just
Wait, so it went beneath the sands?
yeah, the crystal shot out the back of the boat. You didn't see it. I'm just telling you what happened.
We've been on this ship for less than 2 weeks. We've destroyed a mast, an engine, and a lever.
Hey. Clever was not our fault.
Technically, the engine was already broken when Rachad tried to fix it. So technically, it's not his fault either.
Hey, if a clock isn't ticking and you smash it, it's still your fault that it's smashed.
Guilty by association. But yeah, no more undulating, no more pulsing from the engine that you're currently in, Richa. No more light gathering. The crystal has been dislodged.
Racha? What did you do? The engine turned off.
That's not good.
Yeah, no, I can tell.
Would I have been able to know that this was an exhaust pipe then that it sent it out of, or?
Oh, it was not an exhaust pipe.
What?
You ended up sending it into another coolant duct that ruptured from the amount of energy that this crystal had, and it basically created an exhaust pipe and shot it out the back end.
Gotcha. So would somebody at least on the deck have seen this thing like blow out the back end?
Most of the people are looking forward. Paulie is the only one that said he was looking to the sides, so go ahead and give me a perception check, Paulie. And remember, you guys are flying right now.
I mean...
And Paulie, you see a purple shiny thing get kicked out the back of the ship before the ship kind of like lurches forward for a second. And when you
Can I jump off and after it?
I mean, you just see it for a split second. You can certainly try if you want to jump off.
I would love to.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an acrobatics check.
13.
You jump off, and as you're going to land, you don't quite land on your feet. You land more on like your knees, and then your chest hits the sand, and you immediately start sinking. It's like water.
Can I be working my way back out and and heading that direction, assuming that I see at least some sort of explosion out the back end.
Nori's gonna run onto the deck of the ship
Well, hold on,
because this thing just shut off.
Before we go any further, Racha, the opening that you came out of, you went into, is not open right now. So, because Ariak's currently trying to deal with the other engine and save that one. Nora, you're the only one down here right now because Ganymede has gone up to the second deck.
So would I be able to fit through this foot-wide tube that I just shoved this thing through, or no?
You're small. You're not that small.
Is there a place where...
If you were a hummingbird, I'd allow it.
Can I do a perception check on seeing if I notice Polly jump off the ship for some random reason?
Yeah, that was my next question. Did Polly make any noise while he was jumping off the ship?
I would have, yeah.
Fuck you, bitches! I'm out.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Kaporin, you're in the navigation area still, trying to see if you can make any heads or tails of remnants of map.
Oh god, okay.
Emmerich
Give me investigation, by the way.
keep steering the ship so he doesn't get too far away from Polly, but I'm not too sure about stopping.
Bryn, go ahead and roll your mass check. Amrit, give me an intelligence check. And then roll your, I believe your D12 as well. I also, yeah, intelligence check too. Okay, so you know what to do, you just don't do it correctly. Polly, go ahead and, what do you want to do, Polly? Because it's currently like water that you're on the sand.
Can I swim through it to get to whatever fell out the bottom of the boat?
Yeah.
I would like to do that.
Okay. Go ahead and use, we'll use your acrobatics check for early, which is 13. Not too bad. So
My athletics is a lot better.
yeah, this was more of you quickly jumping off the boat once you saw the purple thing leave the back end. So that will only be a D10. Okay. So you guys, after you saw the purple thing fly out the back end, and you jumped off the boat after it, it was... You're okay, Bubbles. The ship itself, because it's moving so fast, you had already moved 300 feet. From where you saw it come out and you jumped, and then the whole drag of the ship itself. Amric and Bryn in unison. Luckily, Bryn kind of helps Amric a little bit with the masts. As you start to try and take the turn and kind of veer back around, you end up making a decently wide turn. Polly, being in the water, you immediately take 10 points of fire damage. Nora, give me an intelligence check. And Bryn, give me another mass check. So Nora, since you had been sitting there kind of like watching and waiting for Racha, and you saw the engine sort of rotating with the sigils, you get a sense that if you can ignite the sigils at least one more time, you can make the engine rotate once more, which would be enough of an opening for Racha to get out.
How much magic would that take?
With your intelligence check, probably a 3rd level.
Alright, so what spell do I think is there a way I can just like put magic into it, or does it
If
have
it's
to
some
be a
sort
spell?
if it's some sort of enchanting spell, like bless or something along that lines where you're giving advantage or whatever, You can upcast a lower spell to make it work.
Just lightning bolt it, see what happens.
And you guys are now in the elemental plane of lightning.
Oh, great! We all die. I was just trying to see what I have that's enchanting magic, but yeah. Could I?
Like divination magic would work too.
Aren't like all of your Trentmere spells enchanting?
But I think all of our Trentmere spells are charming now.
But they're classified as enchantment.
Yep. So yeah, you can just upcast one of those.
I guess 3rd level charm person on this fucking machine.
Okay. Racha, you hear the spinning up, and you know you're gonna have that one shot again. So go ahead and give me another acrobatics check. Polly, go ahead and give me a survival check. No. As you hit the water, Polly, you're not 100% sure, bearing-wise, where to keep swimming, because it's not like the crystal's just sitting on the surface. It's gone below. You have a rough direction, but you're not sure specifics. You get within the area, but you're not sure where to go down, and it's not like you can see through sand. But at least you're giving the people, like, it's around me somewhere. Amrit, go ahead and give me another Ghostwind's Mates check. Racha, you're able to get out without a problem. You do take 2 points of fire damage, though, from hitting some metal on your way out.
I run directly over Polly.
Hey, over here! Not that close!
Can I cast Freedom of Movement on myself?
Yeah.
To make it easier to swim?
Yeah, easy enough to do. Alright. So, Racha is out now.
Once Racha's out, Nori's going to the deck because we just turned, and what was that? So she's going upstairs.
Alright.
Does Kazariak seem to have figured out what to do with it?
He's currently trying to get his hand to fit. He thinks he knows what to do. He's just trying to weasel his arm through all the corresponding metalwork.
What?
Rolled an 11.
Sorry, go for it.
I just want to see if one learned anything new.
Everything looks pretty shard. Nothing really standing out. You at least don't find anything on the paperwork that's here that would be beneficial to the fire plane. Alright, what do you want to do, Racha?
Ask Kazariak, what is it?
What do you mean?
What do you need?
A fucking working ship?
Okay. What do you need here?
About 2 pints of dragon's blood and a new arm.
A new arm? And he'll hold up his already featherless forearm.
He holds up his other arm, which is all like scabbed and scarred, and some burn blisters are on it. Yep, I feel you. Just go see if anyone else needs help.
Suit yourself. And then he'll go running off up onto the deck.
As you're starting to run away, you just hear him say, "Fuck it," and he reaches down and just like bends a couple of the bars out of the way, so now he can get up to his shoulder into the engine.
Nori, who's on the deck, goes, "What happened? Why are we turning? Did we... Just tell me what's going on."
We're short of Polly.
Shit.
Polly went overboard chasing whatever went out.
Whatever went out. Nori's going to look for Polly.
Yeah, he's right on the side of the boat.
Can he even hear me if I yell to him?
If you go over the side, yeah.
Yeah. Nor will go to the side of the ship.
He's kind of just wading sand right now.
What are you doing?
Something purple got shit out of the back of the boat, and it fell right around here.
Another 7 points
Okay.
of fire damage, Polly.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna cast. I'm gonna drop concentration on Rachaw's thing. Detect magic on me, because purple. I wear a purple I wear a purple thing that's magic. You know, I'm not gonna question it. So I'm going to turn into a
Yes.
giant eagle. Fuck it.
I
And
was gonna say turn into a squid.
A sand
I guess
shark.
I can turn into. I just jump off and turn into a giant octopus. Can I swim as a giant octopus through the sand?
Totally.
Let's do that.
All
But
right.
you can't breathe in sand.
Nope.
Octopi can hold their breath for an hour.
All right, you immediately take 8 points of fire damage.
Bring it on, baby. I have 52 hit points.
Oh, that's just from the transformation. You haven't hit the sand yet.
Good.
Because remember, octopi have that nice viscous, slimy liquid that immediately steams and incinerates off from the heat. So when you hit the water, okay, not bad. That's some shitty rolls. 12 points of fire damage.
I'm also at over full HP as a person, so I will be fine.
Okay, so go ahead and give me a survival check. Using Polly as a reference point, you start to do loops with ever increasing radius.
And I've got detect magic up.
Yeah, which 60 feet.
Only it's either 60 or 30.
I think it's 30.
30. Okay, how deep do you want to go?
Wherever Polly pointed, I will swim around and keep spiraling down as I need to.
Okay. How much HP are you willing to lose before you turn around?
All of it.
Okay, so you get 150 feet down before the octopus is gone.
Okay. So no magic, can't detect anything.
Not yet. It wasn't like a immediate about face turn that you guys did and came up. Like, you guys were flying, so you guys were moving. This ship, when it's moving at its fastest, which what you guys were doing by the time that all happened, this ship can move about 1,000 feet every minute. So it's not like it's like, oh, let's just turn around right now, and like you did a 3-point turn and you went back to the stoplight. No, this is like you guys went phew. So you guys traveled for like another 2 to 3 minutes to get back to Polly. So things have a tendency to float down, or not float, sink down in that amount of time.
I have something extremely stupid that I can do that I will save for an emergency.
Water walking will not work here,
yeah.
just FYI.
No, I'm aware. I have other swimming creatures I can pull out. Yeah, giant octopus again. Keep going down. I'm finding this thing.
Okay. So now I need to roll, because just gonna multiply it by 5.
Can I get out of the sand, please?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. After the second round of fire damage, I'm sure you were like, okay, I'm out. I did my job.
It hurts.
So you go. I'd say you widened your search radius a little bit, and going down at a slower pace because, like I said, Polly was more just around here, not like this spot. So you get to go down another 100 feet before your octopus is gone. It sucks because you can't see, so you're like not sure how far down this place is going. So you're currently 250 feet down. Ganymede comes to the top of the deck. Bryn probably overlooking the side as Amric has helped Polly up. And you're worriedly looking after your girlfriend's last little ink spot that she must have left at the top of the... like, I'm going down here. Ganymede. Is there a reason why we're staring at the sand?
Yeah. Once I get to the point where it's just like, I won't be able to find it. I'll die before I'll find something. Nori's going to swim back up.
Okay. So it's going to take another casting for you to get out. Going straight up, you'll get out in time.
Yeah, I'll fully get out, and I can take some damage and wait for them to get back.
Again, it still says that to you, Bryn.
Something flew out the back of the ship. Don't know what. Polly went overboard to go find it, I think. I don't know. And Nori is now down there trying to find the thing. So that's where we're at right now. Lever is broken over there. It was thrown off.
Yeah, I saw that one down there. That was not fun.
Yeah. I don't know where it went. I don't know if they're gonna be able to find it. Should be on there.
Polly, you said what was it? What did you see?
Something purple and glowing fly out of the back of the ship.
Shit. Makes sense.
Yep, that's how it happened.
All right. He's just doing like mental gymnastics, trying to figure out what to do next and how to make things work.
When does Nori pop out?
In full octopus fashion, at breakneck speed because hot. You come careening out as soon as Ganymede starts to walk over to the steering wheel, and just get face full of blood.
Mid jump, I turn back into myself.
Make an acrobatics check.
This is a 10.
Brand, make a dex save.
This tracks.
I didn't mean to do the second one, sorry.
So, Nori, you come careening out of the sand, changing back into yourself. About 20 feet over the deck, you'll realize, maybe I should have waited just a little bit more. And then Bryn is currently, like, turning and outstretching her arms as you go flying over her head instead. You take 2 points of bludgeoning damage as you hit the deck.
And I'm back to my normal HP. Thanks, Karen.
Bryn kind of does the whole, like, you know, when you try to high-five someone and they don't high-five you back, you just sit there and you're just like... She's, like, arms outstretched and you just go flying over. She just sighs and gives herself the pat on the back.
Nori will stand up and go, I couldn't find it. I swam down as far as I could and I couldn't find it.
Ganymede, as he's walking away, goes, it would make sense. Part of this ocean would be pretty deep. He goes to the back of the ship, and on the back of most ships, though you guys wouldn't know it too much, there's depth meters. It's literally just a large pool of line that has different markings on it for every 100 feet or so. And he releases it off the back of the ship, and it just starts sinking. We'll find out how deep this place is, but we should prepare to go. At that moment in time, you hear a... Well, sounds at least the other engine is safe. And then the line that's spinning behind him fast, all of a sudden... Ganymede turns around, kind of goes to the side, starts to lift up the line a little bit, and is reading the depth. Well, that's 700 feet. We're gonna have to see if we can do it on one engine. And he clicks the little button that starts to retract the whole line in the back. Everyone to your posts. We're down a few people, and others are doing repairs. Get ready. I'll go fetch Kazariak.
The ballasts. What should I do about that?
Luckily here, we're not going to need the water.
The
right.
lever.
That's another problem for another day. We just don't want to be caught staying in one spot. Many beasts in these waters.
Let's go.
While we have a second, Amric would like to pass off his scorching hot armor to Nori so it doesn't get lost while we plane shift.
Yeah, Nori will shove whatever needs be in the bag.
It's brilliant. Thank you.
Yeah, losing your armor and your sword. Just
I
moments
would
from each other
die.
would suck.
Is my shield made out of metal?
Which shield is it? Is it the one from the...
The one
castle?
from the keep? Yeah.
Yeah.
I will
But
also
it's not heating up. Because it's magical.
and I'll keep that with me.
Does that mean my armor's not heating up as well?
No, the
since it's magical?
armors don't give a shit.
Oh.
It's just his shield specifically.
At that point, you're just like wearing a parka.
It's more like you're wearing a brand, and it's just constantly branding you.
I was low key thinking about doing Cone of Cold just to like cool everyone down, but it's too silly and you wouldn't
give
allow
everyone
it.
steam burns as it starts to steam away.
Exactly.
Or, yeah, shatter like glass underwater.
I feel like Tiny Hut might just at least everyone will be in a comfortable temperature if we use Tiny Hut, maybe.
Except for the floor. Floor's gonna be
Yeah,
hot as
except
shit.
for
Are my
Or-
shoes okay?
No,
That
that's
just
fine.
occurred to me. Oh man.
Well, no. They're there. The soles are gone.
Okay, he'll see if he could do something with that.
You now have 2 left sandals.
All right.
We left spats.
So, Ganymede goes down and gets Kazariak, who is just boil blistered and skin singed, arm hair burnt, coming up. And
As Nori's running past, she's gonna cast Healing Word on Kazariak.
Yeah, I'm fine. He just starts wiping at his arms, at the blisters, popping them.
I feel like this is when everybody now notices that Rachaz got a skinned arm. It's just like,
Yeah, can I help with that?
He's
Can I
got,
pop a cure wounds on that?
he's got a chicken wing going on.
For 12?
ooh, that's quite nice.
Yeah. Kazariak gets to the top, looks at the lever. He doesn't know what to do.
Because it's
has-
the only thing I can think of potentially working, I will pull out my 3-foot extendo rod that I have left and offer it as a potential alternative.
Offer
Just
this
GM
tribute.
it, stick it in, and see what happens.
Emmerich has been thinking about doing something really stupid since Polly jumped off the ship. You said there were wires sticking out of where the lever was?
It's cables, yeah.
Can Emmerich try and hotwire them?
Doesn't work like that. They're more mechanical cables than they are like electrical wires.
Can you like wrap the cables around the pole?
It was
Well,
worth a try.
The way mechanical cables work on a lever is that the lever has a handle usually, and it pulls the cable, which is connected down to the engine itself. And when you pull the handle, it pulls that cable, which pulls something inside the engine itself. So with those completely ripped off and no extra cable to weld to that portion of the cable, it's not like a simple insert and press. It's more of like, go get a welding torch and about another 5 foot of cable to attach it to.
Can we do that?
Well, unfortunately, your engineer's dead.
Oh.
And now that one engine is offline, that cable needs to be spliced in other things to make it work. Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Anyone got revealed by?
But the 3.5 foot pole does at least start in the fixing direction.
I do, but it's been longer than a minute.
And you're on the elemental point of fire. Souls don't travel the same way here.
They evaporate.
Nope.
That's an existential question I don't want to get into.
No, or you might know.
Just-
Give me a history check.
Ooh, fun!
Nope, you don't know.
That was investigation, but it's the same.
But yeah, so with the extendo pole, he's gonna at least try and make it fit into the hole. The cabling situation is gonna have to be done for another day. Amric, you're gonna have to help with Ganymede and start steering the ship, so you guys at least are moving. But you guys are off and picking up hell of speed again.
Does my toolkit thing capable of turning into a soldering iron or whatever?
In this world, there not really is a soldering iron. It's more magical than that. Kind of like a heat
I
metal
understand.
situation.
I'm assuming rope is not at all acceptable alternative considering we're on the
No.
plane of fire.
And the fact that cable has tension where rope can't even get anywhere near metal cable tension. So
Well, if one of the engines is dead and we're operating under that engine being dead, can we utilize those cables to that engine into the working engine's cables?
well, the that lever activated both engines. So part of the cables that were destroyed were for the other engine as well. So Kazariak, that's why I said that the pull is the step in the right direction. Kazariak is going to have to cannibalize the other engine to make it work. And even then, that's just making the lever functionable, let alone if it works at all. Kazariak's smart, but he ain't no engineer.
Can I assist him?
Can I
Rachel is
cast
smart, but
enhance
he ain't no
ability on
engineer.
both of them?
I have an idea, and it might. Do we have any extra cable at all?
Just the ones that they're cannibalizing from the other engine.
Can I pull out my bag and solder it with the molten metal inside?
Yeah, that would work.
Okay.
It would take one use out of that metal.
That's fine. I'd rather do that and get the fuck out of here.
Okay. All of it takes time, obviously. Thinking of this, actually putting it into practice, cannibalizing the other engine worth of materials to then transfer over, run the cabling through correctly, hopefully attach it to the right stuff. Rachel, go ahead and give me an intelligence check.
Do I get advantage because Kazariak's helping?
Because Ariak's making his own.
Oh, crap.
I said I wanted to cast Enhance Ability on the both of them. Does that offer still stand, or is it too
This
late
is
for
like
that?
over like an hour's worth of work.
It does last an hour.
Okay, then yeah, you can do one.
Yeah, I'll cast it at a 3rd level to target both of them with Fox's Cunning.
What is that again? A D4?
No, you get
Oh, no, it's a-
advantage on the roll.
All right. So as things are getting ran through and assembled, it gets to the point where Zaryak's trying to put things together, and you're trying to help. And it's like the 8-year-old that's trying to help their dad fix the car.
Which has fashioned his coconut helmet into coconut goggles. And he's put some shades into them so that they are working well with the welding.
But like you like go to reach and hand him something, and it's like, no, not the socket wrench, the Allen wrench. No, I need the pipe fitter. Instead, like
I'm holding the lantern above him. Or my
yeah, hold the light.
my
Just
ghost-
hold the light.
my ghost hand is holding the lantern above both of us.
No, don't hold it like that. Hold it like this. You're just sitting there crying the whole time. You know, like good father situations that you need to deal with. Because Aryak rolled a nat 20. So he is able to get things figured out, attach things correctly, and at least to the best of his knowledge. And a functioning, though ghetto as shit looking lever up top. You guys have been traveling for an hour. It's hot. I need everyone to make con saves. Ganymede and Kazariak are fine.
Am I still rolling at disadvantage because of the poison?
Yeah, this is only an hour. It lasts for an hour, so yeah.
Okay.
Nori, Barin, and Kaporin, you all get 1 level of exhaustion. But at the end of the hour, the ghetto lever is made. The ship is brought to a slower pace as Ganymede and Kazariak, looking very trepidatiously towards one another, decide to give this shit a try. They suggest everyone to hold on to something. All loose items be secured. And pray to whatever god you believe in.
Orin's tucking himself away in the navigation.
Totally misheard that for the first portion. What I initially heard was very bad.
I don't even want to know. He's tucking himself away
Tucking.
in
Yes,
navigation.
tucking, not tugging. It was right after the whole god line too that I just said, so I was like, what? Oh, okay.
And that's how Kaporin got thrown off the ship.
Rachad's just gonna chirp up from his post up at the top of the mast and like tie himself in with his own rope and go, this'll be oodles of fun.
All right. Who wants to roll this D8?
Who rolled last? Bryn, right?
No, Bryn called it. Someone else rolled, I think.
I rolled.
Okay. I'll do it. What is it?
D8.
Ollie's rolling pretty well today.
Fuck.
Shit.
Well, guys, we'll start off with new characters next session.
We bamf back into the fire plane. We're out for a
Yep.
second.
Starting
Engine
position.
explodes, we all die.
Don't
I
worry,
don't like how
Belladonna.
long
I'm
of a
coming to
pause
join
that
you.
is.
Warren just calls out to Belladonna. I'm like, I'll be with you soon, I guess.
Arx is gonna kill me.
Okay.
The anticipation.
I don't
Sorry.
like how long of a pause this is.
We're either going to the abyssal plane or
No, my
everywhere.
different planes like wasn't populating correctly.
In Nori's case, Arch is gonna bring you back to life first, then kill you again, and then bring you back to life again.
I think it'll just bring me back to life and kill me. I think it'll end there.
Well, your soul does have to be willing, so you could just end it.
All right. So,
So we gotta go fix Rachal's thing earlier than we anticipated.
this list of planes was in alphabetical order. So those who know the planes know what's coming next.
I've been hoping for a TPK for weeks. Wish has been granted.
Would someone like to fill in the people who don't know what the planes are?
Air.
As it's not the elemental planes. As you all hold and prepare yourselves, the lever gets pulled. An interesting sort of shifting and shuddering, not what you're used to, at least when you had two engines. This singular engine now kind of skittering and making some very not so happy noises. But you guys feel the immediate lunge forward, making you all kind of shuffle your feet and get your sure-footed. And as you all look up, darkness all around you. And millions of stars. You guys are floating in empty space as you have been careened into the astral plane. Immediately, luckily, mostly everyone's tied down as people start to float off the deck. Kazariak, not letting go of the helm, just shakes his head. And you see Ganymede go behind his back, pull out a small pouch, and just hands it over to Kazariak. Ganymede, I don't know how you knew, but you're always fucking right.
Care to explain?
Kazariak pockets the pouch of gold. Oh,
They bet.
I just bet that we'd get into the most fucked up situation we could and nailed it.
And let me guess, it's gonna take a lot more work to try to get out of here.
Well, see, the problem is, once you're in the astral plane, it's not as easy to get out. Our engines don't work here like that. We need to physically find a portal to go through. And, Navigator, how's our maps?
They're gone.
What maps?
Exactly. Well, Kazariak unhitches himself from the helm. Ganymede, you've got the wheel. And he just floats himself over to the two broken weapons on deck and just starts fixing them. Because he knows you're all going to need them. I would suggest those who need to sleep, sleep. I'm not sure how much time we're going to get unimpeded.
Yeah, Nori will take that hint.
If Warren's enjoying the floating, he's at least not seasick anymore.
Emmerich will retrieve his armor, his 4 remaining javelins from Nori's bag of holding, don them, and then go to sleep.
Warren's gonna go stay in navigation, cast Tiny Hut, so at least nothing's gonna. If anything happens while he's asleep, he'll be fine.
How many of us need to stay awake?
Well, now that you guys are no longer on the fire plane, the other shift of people can come up and take your spots. Except for Nori, Ganymede's going to take care of your spot.
Just Nori looks very singed. Well, we all look very
As does
singed.
everyone else, yeah.
I literally have no feathers on an arm.
Poor Rachel.
Warren's got put on a little tan from his pale white skin.
No, that's called a baste. It's different. So, Kaporin, though you probably wouldn't have thought of it right away, as soon as anyone else, mainly Nori or Bryn, or Polly, who would have came into the bubble with you, and as you start to fall asleep and float off the deck a little bit, they grab you and tie you down.
I'll just lay across him.
Warren does not wake up from this as he's terribly exhausted.
Unfortunately, you're only going to be able to get short rests. So go ahead and roll whatever hit dice you may need. There was enough time also in between the 4 hours that you had slept before the Hags and Fury attacked, that even if you were to get 4 hours now, it wouldn't complete your long rest because too much happened in between.
Does that mean I'm stuck with that con damage?
Correct, until you take a long rest.
Is everybody short resting right now?
Yeah, if you want to. You don't have to. Everyone's shifts are taken care of, so.
Hey, Bryn, did you want to, I don't know, use this sword and not use this sword at the same time?
Yeah, I'm sorry you lost your sword.
Yeah, that really sucks. But, I mean, this one's kind of cool. It tells you, if there's danger in, 30 feet of you, and, it helps you react when you get attacked, and it wakes all your friends up if they're within 30 feet and there's danger.
It's currently sheathed.
That could be handy.
Nori reaches into the bag and fishes out the hammer struggles with the hammer and tries to hand it to Bryn.
Wait.
Still this thing. The Warhammer.
Well, I have this one, and she has her the Sun Forger out. I haven't
Oh, I
used
thought
it
it
yet.
was in the bag. Never mind.
No, I have it. So I have this one, and haven't used it yet, though.
You also have your arm blade.
I do, but that's in the bag of holding.
This one just says while weapon is on your person.
Oh, okay. Then you probably
Yeah.
have tuned it out.
Yeah, with that thing with Vinny, yeah, absolutely I did. That's why it didn't work.
But Polly, if you're not using it, well, I can.
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a short sort of warning.
Question: There's no such thing as dawn in the astral plane, is there?
Don't like the spell dawn? Yeah, no. You're screwed.
Yeah, I figured.
Hence why a lot of different magics don't work here.
Welcome to the club, buddy.
I mean, spell-wise, I've only used one thing. My loot's completely locked out, though. So, it has 2 points. And, yeah, it's staying that way.
I am infinitely grateful for the fact that land druids can gain spell slots back on short rests.
Alright. Everyone's hit dice and situations fixed?
The situation is not fixed, but
I mean, like, equipment and such. Yeah, the other navigator's just trying to make any heads or tails of anything to possibly help, and he can't do it. Kazariak ends up bringing out some of the fireplane maps, though. He wasn't expecting to go to the fireplane, so he didn't have them out. He'd actually tell everyone to forcibly avoid the fireplane, but he's got fireplane maps that seem to be treated against fire.
wonderful. I wish everything else was treated against fire.
Kind of hard to do that to paper.
Expensive.
I feel like if it's a map, it should have just already... If it's an actual map of a place, it should have already just been treated. Just for safety reasons.
Yes, against seawater. Alright. You also gotta remember, Kazariak defected, and he just had whatever maps he had on him when he defected. Okay. So, a few hours into your slumber, you guys are awoken as Kazariak is on the outside of the bubble, tapping it. Wake up.
Mari will poke her head out of the bubble.
I am awake.
I meant the other ones.
Oh. I'll elbow Kaporin in the side.
And Mari will gently wake up Bryn.
Horn's kind of like just like has his arm wrapped around you already, so he's just like,
Wake up!
Porn wakes up. Hup!
Get up.
Oh.
Bryn will get up.
Emmerich is definitely not looking like a morning person.
If Amric had hair, it would be all like stuck to one side.
Actually, I believe it'd all be falling out about now.
Kazariak has a finger over his mouth, motioning for you all to be as quiet as possible. And he gives you the motion to follow him as he starts to float out of the navigating quarters, out to the main deck.
Follow him.
As you guys, either walking or floating, move behind him towards what he's looking at, he stops around the main mast and points off the port side. A first, you guys don't see anything. Except Nori. Nori, as you guys are looking at it, you see just what it seems to be infinite empty space with stars off in the distance. But ever so slightly, the stars seem to shift. Or the stars aren't shifting. It seems as if, almost as if water is running over a certain path of the stars, giving that refraction feel, but ever so slightly. And the space it's all moving as one, and without any real depth to figure out how far away this, whatever this is, actually is. You're unsure of how big to give it. Because Aryak takes out this piece of blue, not crystal, but blue glass. And it sits kind of like a Dorito chip, triangle. But he holds it over and hands it to you, Nori. And he
Nori will
points
take
to
it.
his eye.
Yeah, she'll hold it up to her eye.
As you hold it up and look through it, you see far away a massive creature that seems to be refracting light around it as it moves through the sky, space, area. Probably hundreds, if not thousands of feet long.
Nori looks from this thing, kind of lowers it, looks at Kazariak with just fear in her eyes.
He just nods. We need to stay as quiet as possible. We've been working on the engine. We can move fast. And he points in the starboard side. And between all the different stars and different bits of color of galaxies in different directions, he points to one that seems to be flickering in light. We believe that's a portal. We're going to try and make a break for it. Everyone be ready and man a gun. So, there are 5 of these weapons on either side of the ship. Everyone's going to take a gun, and the leftover people are going to be taking, the leftover crew is going to take up their positions. So, there's 5 on the port, 5 on the starboard. Who wants to take what? And just picture each gun labeled 1 through 5. And the creature's on the port side.
I'll take number 1.
What side is the creature on?
Port. But you guys are going to be moving starboard, so it's going to be behind you.
I want to take the backmost starboard gun.
Okay. So, S5 for you, P1 for
Uh,
Polly.
P5 for Nori.
Okay.
Starboard 3.
I assumed Rachel was up in his nest and nobody's really actually told him.
Seeing everyone starting to talk, I'm sure you would have floated your way down.
I'm listening, but if he wants all of us on guns, then yeah, he'd probably saddle up right behind Amric.
Okay, so S4.
Charles his own gun. He just perches himself at the top and it's just like a turret.
Love how no one has brought up so far that Rachel is literally flying.
It's not actually flying; it's floating. There's a difference.
There's no wind against his hair or his feathers.
And Kaporn, you said your starboard 3.
Yes, please.
Bren?
I'll do port 3.
All right. Kazariak and Ganymede are going to be on the wheel. We got a masked mate. Ballast instead. Navigators for me. Going to take S1.
Does this happen to be the gun I accidentally fired earlier? Like I know how to use it?
Oh, after the first iteration, everyone has a rough idea of how to use it. Paul is the only one that like has the in-depth advantage of using it. Okay.
Don't get your hopes up.
Nori has not taken her eyes off this creature.
Okay, so we got Navigator's Mate there. We have Mass Mate's not going to be needed, so we can pick up 4 ports.
We're like Treasure Planet right now.
It is not very reassuring.
We're gonna find a golden orb that just teleports us everywhere, and it might teleport us to like the worst place ever. Who knows?
Okay, so when everyone gets up to the gun, Polly, you have advantage on all your attacks while using this gun. Everyone else, it's just straight rolls. Between 1 and 5 is a catastrophic malfunction, which renders your gun useless. You can use an action and a bonus action to try and assess the break and fix. Only really Richa would do this without... everyone else would get disadvantage trying to fix it because you don't have tools. Richa does have a tool, so he would be a straight roll. A 19 into 20 is a crit. A 5 to 10 is a misfire. And when a misfire happens, you have 3 choices to make. You can either eject the round, you can pull the trigger, reset and pull the trigger again, or you can push the weapon up. So basically, if you think of it kind of like a ballista, but without the arms, you'd push the weapon up and try and deactivate the magic that's happening. Because there's a little connector plate that has 2 sigils that winds up them and creates the radiant bolt. Depending on what happens, you're gonna have to make a split-second decision on which one you want to do, and we'll see if it's the correct one or not.
So what does eject do? What does reset do? And then push up.
Eject just basically ejects the radiant round off. It doesn't shoot it. It just basically gets it out of the gun. I'm sorry, I'm doing a lot of information. Most of it's like notes, but off the top of my head because I can't have that many things open. So yeah, you got the eject, you've got the reset, which is pushing it up, which just means that you have to wait a full turn for the magic ammunition to die down. So basically it's like unpowering it for a moment before it blows up, basically. And when it happens, I'll roll a die and it'll decide which problem is happening. I'll give you a very tiny bit of information and you'll have to make a decision on which one of those 3 you want to do.
And how would Dispel Magic help it? Would Dispel Magic help at all?
Yeah, you could do some spell magic, but it would make the gun useless.
Yeah, so I'll avoid that.
All right. Everyone ready?
Question, sorry. So you said 1 through 5 was a bad malfunction, and then 5
Critical
through 10 is a
malfunction.
misfire. Yeah, but so the 5 is both, or is it 1 through 4
Oh, sorry.
or
1 through
6
5,
through 10?
6 through 10.
Okay.
My apologies.
Are these straight D20 rolls or are they
Yeah.
Dex and?
Nope. The only person that gets to add anything is Polly. And you add your strength modifier. All right, are you ready for this?
No, let's do it.
Do it.
There it is.
So just for my purposes, are both number 2 guns empty, or are there crewmates on those?
Oh, there's crewmates on there.
Okay.
And one's the other bosun's mate. And then I don't feel like reading what I wrote. It's another mate. Don't
Yeah, I just had them in blanks on my note, and I figured someone probably filled it in.
Okay, here we go. So, as you all take positions and get ready and prepare yourselves, the other mast mate, he is going to set the mast to completely unfurled, and then runs to his gun. And the engines kick on, leaving an interesting green and blue trail behind your ship. Nori, keeping your eye on that creature in that direction. You, immediately as you guys start to turn, and it almost gets out of purview, the refractionary light dance that is happening on it seems to change. It doesn't go away, but as this creature turns to face you guys, you realize that that wasn't so much light refraction as it was just the natural siding of this creature. As not quite an astral dreadnought, but something else entirely saw this new blue and green trail and is currently incoming at a high velocity. But you guys are off. You guys turn starboards, going towards that flickering lights and picking up speed as you guys move along. The creature behind you is definitely faster. Hell, just its length alone, every time it moves one of its length, it catches up quickly. Getting about halfway to the flickering lights, all of a sudden you feel the boat shift. It shifts to the starboard side. So all those on starboard guns, be ready, as this creature is now only a mere 300-400 feet away. Currently it's Kazariak who's at the actual helm, while Ganymede is working the levers, boosting engines and cooling others to help facilitate faster turns and more of like a serpentine fashion as you guys start to move. Everyone on starboard side, go ahead and take a shot.
You said that we're shifting?
The ship is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's doing like a serpentine pattern. And currently it's on the starboard turn.
I got a normal shot.
Alright, one normal, one crit, one normal. I need Rachon Emmerich. Alright. Normal, okay. Good damage. Alright, normal rounds, 10d10.
Do you want us to just roll a D100?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Jesus.
One of them got a crit, so.
Emmerich did 86.
The only thing about doing just a D100 though is you can get technically less damage. Unless there is the whole, like, your battle's gonna say, now you can only get, the lowest is this. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
if you roll under a 10, I have you re-roll.
Yeah, like statistically, you get a bell curve out of 10d10, whereas it's all just a straight line on a d100.
All right. 522 damage on the first salvo. Not bad, guys. Okay, one's a crit, so it does induce a staggering effect, giving you guys a little bit more distance, allowing the ship to move forward. Now it's going to be port side. Everyone go ahead and get a shot as the serpentine motion now breaks to the other way.
You just hear Rachel going, yeehaw!
2 crits. That's nice.
We also got a crit failure. Alright. So hit, and crit. Then a crit fail, and a regular hit. So go ahead and, for the crit... I mean, remember, Polly, also, you have advantage? Oh, you did roll it?
Yeah, that was advantage.
Okay.
It was a 16 plus 4.
Gotcha.
So double damage?
No, it wasn't a natural 20, so it's just a regular damage. 10d10. $250 damage on that one.
Port side is slacking.
But we did get another crit, so another stagger. So a little bit more distance gained in that respect. All right, starboard side. Round of shots. What was that about port side?
Warren got a crit.
All right, so Amric and Rachaz's guns are down.
You know that was scary because I rolled the digital dice and it landed right in between 1 and 19.
So Kaporin got a crit, one guy got a hit, and one guy got a miss. So Kaporin, it's 25d10.
It's fun watching them all roll.
$183 on this. All right, luckily another crit, so another stagger, more distance gained. All right, port side, you guys are up. One of our guys is going to have to make a investigation check. Nope, that gun is completely destroyed. Port 2 is down.
9. Oh, wait. Never mind. 13.
So miss, miss, miss.
Is a 13 miss?
Yep.
Oh.
Gotta be over 15.
So I hit it.
Yeah. And the other guy missed here. So 10d10. All right. And Port 2 gun is dead for good. Bringing us to starboard side. Creature, it moves fast enough, so every 2 staggers you give it, if it doesn't get staggered again, it moves that much closer. So currently, it's 100 feet per turn. So right now, you guys started attacking it at the 400-foot range, staggered it 3 times back to 700. It's now back up to 500. Starboard side, Rachel and Amric, both of you guys need to make investigation checks first. No disadvantage on this one. Rachel, your gun is done. Okay, Amric, you see what the problem is. Go ahead and make a intelligence check with disadvantage. All right. Roll 10d10 for me. Kapoor, go ahead and roll for your hit right now. All right. So
14.
Amric and Racha, you both take 58 points of radiant damage.
Is that considered a ranged weapon?
This is considered an area of effect explosion, so Racha, you can have it.
I'm asking. I have to read it again because I have. It says 2 different things. Hold on. Because I know. I have resistance to ranged weapon attacks.
This is not a ranged
so
weapon. This is just an explosion.
58.
Yeah, this is just a straight up explosion. The radiant.
I didn't mean to hit that.
The radiant charge detonates as you go to fix your gun, and so luckily you're on the end because it would be whoever's on the guns on either side of you that this happens to, but it's only Rachel. So you both
I will use my reaction to lower the damage.
go for it. And like I said, Rachel, you can use your I forgot what it's called to take half.
Uncanny dodge.
Yep. It's almost as if, like, as soon as you realize you can't do anything to your gun, you turn and you see Amric, like, reaching his hand, and you're like, not quite. And just kind of like, zerp, and start to spin and spiral away. All right, Amric, you lower it down to 47. But your gun is detonated, destroyed, and the deck underneath is also destroyed.
Ooh. I rolled a 14, so it's a miss, right?
Yep, yours is a miss. The other 2 guys miss and malfunction. Minor malfunction.
You're getting worse and worse.
I'm gonna roll for the problem. All right, and roll if he's smart enough to figure it out. Hey, which he is. So he'll use his next turn to clear that. All right. Creature moves up 400 feet once again, port side. You guys are up. Miss.
11.
Miss. Alright, that brings us to the last fate. Natural 20. Oof. 200 damage. Oh, 202, but who's counting? Alright.
Us. We want this thing gone.
Okay, so a bunch of misses on your end. Luckily, it's a stagger, so it moves back to 500 feet. Bringing us to starboard side. He's going to clear and eject the round, which is good. He's good to go. So, Kaporin, your shot is up. Oh, we have another minor malfunction. Oh, another minor malfunction.
Wonderful.
Back to 400 feet. You guys, that flickering is getting closer. It almost looks like a small galaxy, kind of just spiraling with what looks to be some sort of like electrical energy sparking off in the distance, but it's still a ways away. Port side.
Can I cast guidance on myself since this is a skill check?
There's so much going on, it would take your shot to do it. You can do
Okay,
it,
never mind.
and next turn it'll work, but
Nah, not worth it.
yeah,
What's the distance?
400.
Cool.
Yeah, because basically every time this happens, like you're using 2 turns to reload, set, and aim this machine.
16.
All right, so Bryn and Polly hit. So 10d10. And then we still have one more gun over here that's working. Now it's a catastrophic failure. That gun is out.
113 damage from Polly and Bryn.
Now, let me
Alright.
guess, this thing doesn't even look phased.
It's hard to tell because it's still hundreds of feet out, but it's still keep it on going on. It moves 300 feet. Oh, well, it moves into 300 feet range. Starboard side.
I start shooting at it.
With your bow, yeah.
It'll be a disadvantage, but I can start shooting.
Might as well. Goporin, make an investigation check. This guy's gonna make an investigation. He's alright. So he knows how to fix it. And a 19, he fixed his gun.
I'm gonna get up into my crow's nest and for the vantage point.
Okay. Alright, you see the problem, Goporin. Go ahead and give me an intelligence check with disadvantage. Hey. It's a hit for the second guy. There you go. Goporin, your gun is fixed.
Thank God.
It's another 69 damage. $200 feet. Port side.
And how far away are we from this freaking thing?
As fast as you guys are going, since you're having to serpentine, it slows you down a little bit. But you need the possibility of detonating on, of slowing this thing down because it will catch up to you all. You're looking at about 1,000 feet.
9.
Okay, so that's a minor malfunction, catastrophic malfunction. Nora, your gun is done.
How many guns do we have left?
And Bryn, that's a hit, so go ahead and 10d10. Thank you. 66.
And then if Nori's gun is done, how far away is this thing exactly?
At the end of this round, 100 feet.
Every time Polly rolls, he gets at least one that one.
Could I potentially just fucking lightning bolt this thing? It won't do as much damage, but
Yeah, you
it's worth a
definitely can.
shot.
Do I need to do a roll of some sort?
Not yet. On your next turn, you have to. All right. That brings us to starboard side. Kaporin. Minor malfunction and a hit.
Hit.
That's a hit. So go ahead and roll your 10d10. Rachaw, if you want to start shooting. 46, along with the 82. 128.
I suppose.
With disadvantage, that does not hit Racha. Amrik, you want to do anything?
I'm debating whether Amber feels like it's worth it to throw a javelin at this giant hulking. Yeah.
Amrik, make an intelligence check for me. Beat a 10. Nope. That is complete opposite. There's supposed to be a 1 in front of that 0.
I jump at it with my my Morning Star in hand.
Unfortunately, you don't know what you should do now that your gun's broken. But you're prepared in case it comes aboard. Okay. So it is crouching. The DC for, since now it's within 100 feet, the DC for the hit goes down to 11. But port side, you guys are up.
Nori's run into a couple monsters at this point have been either resistant or immune to elemental damage. It is the long shot of long shots, but can I make some sort of check and hope for a nat 20?
The only person that would have possibly told you what this thing may have been, to their knowledge, at the point of them knowing it, would be Tiva. And even then, I don't think Tiva ever expected you to go to the astral plane. So,
can I roll at disadvantage then?
What's your history modifier?
0.
You're not going to be able to figure it out. If it was a +5, I would say you have a shot.
I knew it was going to be a no, but I had to ask.
Yeah, it's understandable to ask, but yeah, no, it's a thing. Okay, so Polly and Bryn. Oh, Polly, it's an investigation check. Okay, and then an intelligence check. Yeah, your gun's broken. Okay, Bryn, that does hit. 64 damage.
Yeah, fuck it. I guess I'm gonna throw a lightning bolt at it. Because that's
Go
all
for
I
it.
can do.
Yeah, it's a dex save, right? Fails the dex save. With a 9.
It's only 28.
Well, not quite, but it's some damage.
I'm guessing it's more like half of 28. Half of half.
7.
Yeah, then it's not worth it.
It could have been absorption, and you just healed it.
All right. This creature is going to make an attack on the ship. Misses. Wow. Rolled a 2.
Wow.
With its
Bad rolls everywhere today.
with its plus 13 to hit. So it doesn't quite miss because the ship's AC is 16. But the mouth, which now you see is gigantic in scale. Now that you guys are this close up to it, you see that the teeth of this thing aren't really teeth, but look to be just... Those in the mountains would know what stalagmites and stalactites are. That's the best representation of what these things actually look like. They don't look like ivory or anything like that. It's just looks like dirt, like hard rock sediment formed from something somewhere, and this whole thing looks to be the size of a moving city. As this mouth crunches down, Kazariak gives the ship a little bit of a little boost at the last second as the teeth kind of just clip the very back end of the upper deck of the ship. No longer there being a railing there, but you guys are just out of distance. But it slows it down and moves it back to 100 feet as the ship continues forward. You guys are now 700 feet away from the portal.
Question.
Correct.
Would Amric know of any explosive cargo that we're holding that he could like throw in the no?
Yeah. This
The
ship
rounds we're using.
Yeah, that's it, and that is being created as you're using it. This ship does not use explosives, and would not want to use explosives with its ship, and how fragile it is.
Yeah. I figured it was no since we were already on fire, but
Well, that being said, though, Racha remembers of some explosives.
give it the dice for Chaw.
No, I'm
You
talking.
just toss that and have one of us cast a fire spell at it and hope for the best.
As it goes to munch down on this little tiny bag of explosive dust.
There's a little chewing tobacco.
It's like rock poppers in your mouth.
All right, so that is going to turn and have starboard side shoot. This guy needs to see. Okay, he knows the problem and fixes his gun.
War God's Blessing on Corporan.
You can do that now that you have no gun. Oh, that is a crit on this guy.
So Corporan, yours goes up to 16.
That's
Oh,
a hit.
thank you.
Just imagine Kaparin's about to fire off into nowhere, and then all of a sudden the gun just jerks him to where it's supposed to shoot.
Divine energy
A
for whatever
glowing
Polly's
hand
god is.
jumps from Polly and like turns Kaporin 45 degrees to the right.
This creature's blending in with the stars, and Kaporin's getting dizzy.
All right, but that pushes it back to 200 feet. Port side, all that's left is Bryn.
We got this.
Hey,
Yes!
nat 20. Go ahead and 25 d10. $132. All right. Pushing it back to 300 feet. Starboard side, you're up.
Can we use our turn, Nori and I?
Yeah. I'm just going to keep going starboard and port, so whatever side you're on, if you want to use your turn, let me know.
Yeah, I just wanted to cast guidance on Bryn.
Racha, that does not hit.
Corporan, War God's Blessing. 19.
I love having Polly around.
Watch me sneak in this little d6 of damage. It's gonna knock it down.
and detonate it.
So it's a nice 19 val. Is it a
No, it's
10?
a dirty 19, so it's not a crit. Okay, so the other two guys, that's a critical failure. 2 critical failures. Two more guns are down. All that's left now are Brandon Kaporin's guns.
Kaporin's panicking.
And we're both in the middle spot.
Yep.
Is there anything I can do to enhance their rolls? Because I still have enhance ability, and I can cast it at a 3rd level to give them a bonus, so they can roll with advantage. Do I think there's anything I can do? What would the check associated with this be?
This isn't really so much an ability that they're using. If it was Polly, you'd be able to do it because he's got the training, so he's using his ability. This is more of them just improvise weaponing this situation, so enhance ability unfortunately isn't going to help.
Well, you do know that they've been doing investigations,
Yeah,
so
if it
you
comes to
could
a
give them
fix,
advantage on that.
Yeah, then I'll cast it at a 3rd level and give them advantage on intelligence checks.
Okay. Alright, Bryn. As the only gun on the port side left.
You have a D4. I mean,
That's a miss.
I'll slap her with guidance again.
Alright, that brings it to 200 feet, bringing us to Corin. That's a miss. 100 feet, Bryn.
With the D4.
D4. Minor malfunction. You guys are now 400 feet away from the flickering light.
Ah!
I mean, this is so stupid and it won't work, but Raw, the can't I can't even finish it. It's too stupid. I'm not gonna do it.
Can I blind? Is this creature of eyes? Can I blind it?
It's got 8 eyes.
I was gonna, because it gives you a disadvantage on an attack, but it's a DC 16 Constitution save, and I'm pretty sure this thing has a plus
if
18
you want
to con.
you can. It's fine.
Yeah, let's. I'm not doing anything better with my time. Let's do that twice.
It succeeds. It's got a plus 24 to con.
Wow! My tiny cantrip.
Yeah. Any saving throws that it rolls, it gets to. It doesn't have legendary saves, but it gets to. If it's a magical effect, it gets to double its save number.
I have another very stupid thing, and I could technically do conjure animals and just start throwing horse at it.
You get a horse, and you get a horse. Unfortunately, Richard. Wait. What's your minimum distance?
Minimum is 80.
Oh, okay, yeah, that does not hit. I'm sorry. All right. Which side were we on? I think Kaporin's up now, right? No, Kaporin just missed.
Bryn.
No, I just
Oh,
missed.
Bryn missed. Okay, Kaporin, you're up. 400 feet away. Okay. The creature's only 100 feet away, so it's back down to 11 to hit.
When it goes to bite, can I take my shot and aiming for one of its eyes?
Yeah. Are you still guiding Kaporin, Polly?
I wasn't. I was
Oh, no,
guiding
you're
Bryn.
guiding Bryn. Okay.
I only have 2 of those a day.
All right, minor malfunction.
I have an intelligence advantage.
Okay, so it rolls to hit.
Can I take my shot first?
Yeah. Actually, it's gonna be at the end of Bryn's turn. It rolls to hit. Nat 20. All right, roll that damage. Sneak attack because it's close now.
And here, Richard hits like a gun.
That's fantastic.
How do you? I'm just kidding.
So much XP.
Here, Rich, I'll have 25,000 XP.
Not the first time.
True. Though the first time, it was a lot less work. All right, Bryn, investigation check.
Guidance.
And advantage.
Can I run?
And then what did you do, Polly?
That's enough.
Plus a D4.
You know the fix. You only have to get over a 10. Intelligence check.
And you can save your Guidance.
All right, you fix your gun.
Cleaned it up a little
Now
bit
the
too.
creature is close enough to take a munch. That's gonna hit. All right. That is 12d10. Oh, better not put this ship to 0 hit points.
How many hit points does this ship have?
107.
Okay.
So 58 plus 27. $85.
Can we heal the ship?
That was my first thought, but it doesn't work on constructs.
Actually, do we know where the vials of green stuff went?
They're in
That-
Rachad's bag, I think.
No, I handed
thought-
him over to
Oh, you
Kazarian.
had- yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
As this creature bites down upon the ship, Kazariak jutting to the side, trying to get as much out as possible, it ends up clipping not only the back starboard side of the ship, taking a large portion of the wood away, just completely obliterated, but also clips the engine, sending it into a sputtering. You guys go down to half speed. Kazariak, last time you guys saw the vials, it was on Kazariak somewhere. But you feel like a bit too much damage to just gloop, 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 fixed. Alright, so that puts it back out to 100 feet. You guys are now 150 feet away from the portal. Kaporin, I need an investigation check. Remember, other people, if you want to do anything on these port or starboard turns, make sure you let me know.
I just don't know what I can do.
I think you had an advantage on it, Kaporin.
Yeah, he did.
So
I
it's
have
the 18.
no magic.
Yeah.
Emmerich literally has throw javelins at it as his only option.
Intelligence check, Kaporin.
With advantage.
Alright, your gun is fixed.
Thank God.
You guys are 100 feet away. The creature moves in. Bryn, your shot.
I cast banishment.
Banishment.
Yeah. That's all I got. Charisma 16.
I have respect for this.
Alright, it's got a plus 10.
I missed that spell.
That is an 18.
Ah, I tried. Bonus action, guidance on Bryn. Not that it's gonna help, but
I'm just trying to think of where would it even be banished to, because this is where things
Well,
go to be
if-
banished.
If it's already on its natural plane, it goes to a
it goes to a
demi-plane
harmless demi-plane.
for 1 minute.
Okay. Rachel, that misses, unfortunately. Bryn, you have guidance from Polly. So a D4. Okay. So you miss. It's literally the one number that misses, but you don't incur a break. Alright. That's going to bring us to Kaporin. You guys are 50 feet away from the portal.
Do I get another shot?
Yeah.
Amric will throw a javelin because
That
fuck
hits.
it at this point. It's 100 feet away.
No, it's less than.
Is it within 30?
Yep.
Okay.
This is during
Wait,
the
it's
time
in-
it's like opening its mouth and closing around the ship.
Wait. Oh my goodness. What was the plus to its wisdom? I want to know how futile this is.
You haven't gotten to the wisdom situation yet.
Oh, fun. All right,
That was for its charisma.
Cast
We're gonna
modified
cast
weapon.
hideous We're gonna cast hideous laughter on this thing. You have to have an intelligence of 4, but you know what? Fuck it.
Okay.
I don't care anymore. I can't do anything else.
Does hideous laughter, they have to understand you? Or hear? Yeah, if it's got to hear, it doesn't. It has
A creature of your choice you can see within range perceives everything as hilariously funny. You don't need to hear me. You just find everything funny now.
Okay, I'll allow it.
Trying to munch down and it's laughing
It is
too
a
hard.
DC 14.
Yeah, it's a 22.
Yeah, but I didn't have anything else I could do.
It's understandable. 16 does not hit, I'm sorry, Amric, but that Richaz did, so that's an extra 24 damage. And now it goes to hit the ship. I want to look at it, and then I don't want to look at it at the same time.
Well, unless it's a 1 or a 2,
Missed.
the ship dies.
It's easy. He missed.
But we're not far from the portal. Can we just get sent through, or does it have to be the ship?
I think we can, but I don't like our chances.
I
It
can't.
goes away.
I
It's a
can't see it,
one.
but it better be a 1.
It's a 1!
We survived!
My little
Holy
arrow
crap.
sent him flying.
You got it right in that one eye.
Yeah, I like to imagine that Richard just his tiny little arrow hits in the eye, and he just flinches back ever so slightly.
Now, who wants to guess where the fuck we're going next?
Hopefully better than here.
I would rather go
need
back.
everyone to make a wisdom saving throw.
This is Amric signing off.
A 19.
Oh, sorry, charisma saving throw. Charisma saving throw. My apologies.
My roll was an 18. Can I just make it? Or it's the same thing as wisdom for me.
Yeah, you can keep it if it's the same modifier.
I got the
thank God.
same roll too, 15.
I got a 5.
Can I just add the rest of my modifier to the other roll I did?
No.
Wonderful.
16 from Amric.
So everyone under a 19.
Hi, y'all.
Also known as everybody.
Everybody but Racha. Racha made it 20.
You all disappear. And you all find yourselves thrown into just an empty void of a room.
A harmless demi-plane, you mean?
Who would have thought?
That motherfucker!
Demi-planar donjon.
Oh no.
Ooh.
It reflected a banish back on us, I think.
It's worse than that.
No, it's not as bad as you think.
It's a minute of boredom.
I'm just worried it's something else I know of. Nori wouldn't know it, but I do, and that scares me.
It's just a visit. So, who was the last one to shoot again? Was it Bryn?
Porn.
Kaporn? Okay. So, Bryn, Polly, and Nori, as you all are sitting there, as you all kind of like look around like, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden, you guys appear not on the ship, but floating in space behind the ship, as the ship has moved past you all and is now mere feet away from the portal. As the giant creature is starting to move towards the ship, opening its mouth, you see the ship go through the portal. And then all of a sudden, Kaporan and Amric appear floating next to you. And the large creature chomps down over the portal where the ship just was, before it continues flying forwards past the portal. And as it moves out of the space, the portal is no longer there. And you all are left floating with Racha still on the ship. Racha, you see the ship as you're on top of the mast, flinging arrows at this creature as it's coming closer and closer. You look down and everyone just disappears for a moment, and then you go, huh? And then the ship goes through the portal, sending you like Star Trek when they hit light speed. Just everything just pulling and elongating around you in color before, almost as if you guys hit the brakes all of a sudden, you almost get catapulted off the mast. And luckily you tie yourself down. As you go, R2-D2 noises, and then now you're just dangling from the mast. Back on the prime material plane. In an ocean. Literally the exact spot you guys had gotten shifted into the fire plane. Without anyone, any of your friends, on board.
Even like the rest of the crew?
The rest of the crew's here. Kazariak and Ganymede saved. The rest of the mates who were technically useless during the fight, because they don't have anything ranged, all went below deck to get ready to start doing repairs if needed. So since the creature couldn't see it, it couldn't cast them into the demiplane. But immediately, as the back right portion of the ship is torn apart and completely wide open, the ship immediately starts flooding. And with your carpentry skills, as well as the vials that were given over and the excess wood that you do have, a very hodgepodge patch job gets placed. As though you do have worries about your friends, you also have the worry of everyone drowning here very shortly. And that takes over your immediate mind. The rest of you, all floating in midair, just 50 feet away from the portal, or where the portal was, that this ship just disappeared through and this creature devoured. You all are left floating in the astral plane. This creature seemingly unknowing that you guys are there, as it continues to fly off. As you look around, I mean, the scenery is beautiful, but currently no direction to go. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Well, we have good berries, so we won't starve.
Any questions?
What a consolation, Nori. Truly, we are blessed.
As you all sit there floating, like, oh, fuck.
Nori doesn't say that.
Nori
Nori just sits there silently.
Nori just floats
thinks
over to
it.
everybody, puts a good berry in their hand.
Just like food.
We're going to need this. But that's going to be a problem for next session.
There's a next session for us stuck in the.
Yeah.
Well, we aren't dead yet.
You have
I don't know
one-
how long it's gonna last.
You have one friend, one compatriot who's on the other side. So, you also have people who knew you were with them. It's just now going to be a relay and ascending race between everybody to see how or if there can be a rescue attempt.
We also have Nori in the giant bag of holding.
Unfortunately, though, there is no dawns in the astral plane. And currently where you guys are at, since you've been traveling, you've been able to at least keep a somewhat eye around in the direction that you guys have come from. As you guys were barreling towards this portal. Besides that creature, no other living thing or place to put feet down on. So, right now you guys are all spacewalking without suits.
Gonna like pull out the rope so we don't end up like flying away from each other.
Kaporan, I'd be on your best behavior because you can just get jettisoned in a direction if they really wanted to.
Yep, we're about to start voting people off the island.
The weak link. Goodbye.
Nori's just like frantically like, how can I keep everyone alive?
MJ puts in a vote for Kaporan to stay every time.
So, any questions?
Why?
Will we survive?
Stay tuned to find out.
Thank you, audience, for joining us tonight. We are now going to go stress cry. Thank you.
If you guys do end up having any
What
questions,
do you
feel
mean
free.
we're going to?
Feel free
Which have already started.
message me, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Richaw, I'll probably be reaching out for a mini session sometime with you, dealing with what you might be going through with Kazariak and Ganymede.
Yeah, sounds good.
For the rest of you, for everybody, have a great weekend, and we'll be back Monday
The audacity.
to enjoy space together.
Brennan and I might be a little late to Monday, just potential airport shenanigans, but theoretically we shouldn't be.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, guys. Have a great night.
Nope.
Night, everybody.
My eye is twitching constantly right now.
Thank you for staying with us. You guys have a great night. Stay safe. See you next time. interrupts the conversation. He goes, I've noticed a little thing between you and Brett.
What?
Nothing.
No matter what happens, I want you all to stay together, and I want you to do what you need to do to get out of here. Don't worry about me. Help as you can if you can. But mostly worry about yourselves, okay?
I'm not leaving you alone. You can do this.
If anything happens, I want to know that you will be okay.
I'll be safe.